Alright, good morning everybody. It's a really exciting day. I think the weather looks pretty good today. I'm not sure how everybody else feels. So we'll just give everybody a little time just to find a comfortable seat, so just scoot in. Right, so I'd like to officially welcome everybody to the InfraCon x GrowthCon event today. And this is a part of the Token 2049 event that's been happening. So yes, bear with me, I do have to go through a little short introduction to give credits to people who made all of this happen. So, InfraCon x GrowthCon, it is a single-day event that is showcasing the most innovative thought leaders from progressive Web3 teams. And it is a one-time collaboration between the InfraCon and the GrowthCon organizers. So you're in for some really special milestone today. InfraCon is presented by Biconomy, Particle Network, Transect, and Polyhedra. And it is a single-day exploration into 3 cornerstone track blockchain technology: account extraction, wallet infrastructure, and zero-knowledge technology. So for today's event, we're really proud to have all 4 of our organizers put together a really good team to make all of this happen. In this year alone, they have already organized 3 events and have put together more than 80 speakers with more than 3,000 event attendees. So that's quite a huge turnout, I'll say. And soon, InfraCon will travel to mainland New York City next week, as well as Dev Connect at Istanbul in November, where they'll be hosting founders and developers alike, focused on seeking the most actionable use cases and technological resources. So GrowthCon is led by Sending Labs, and it is an event series focused on user growth and adoption by the masses. Okay, that's a mouthful, so I hope that everybody's feeling good and ready for today. So we have our very first speaker already present here. So, to kickstart today's session, we have Potter, who is from the co-founder of EthSign, and he'll be sharing with us all about the ultimate fundraising and management solution for Web3 founders and investors. So, Potter.
How's everybody doing today? Not tonight yet. Alright, the reason I want to talk about this topic is definitely not because EthSign raised from 3 branches of Sequoia, even if we did. But before I talk about this topic, I think fundraising and token management is oftentimes the most interested topic in this space. And people are wondering, how do crypto founders do fundraising, and how is it different from the traditional Web2 founders or so? And especially because we're in this token market, and it's a little slightly different from how the traditional equity holds out, and how to manage the cap table, and how to manage the token cap table, and how to distribute your tokens to your investors is oftentimes another big questions that people ask a lot. And before I get into the topic, I want to give an introduction about myself. My name is Potter, co-founder of EthSign, leading the business development and marketing side of things here, and joined crypto in 2017. Slightly later founded the blockchain organization at USC, grew from 3 people to now 1,000 people. And founded EthSign in 2020, and here I'm going to get a bit deeper. So, as we all know that token market is a truly global market, and nowadays there's like 10x crypto Web3 founders, with 10x investors, and with 10x like jurisdictions around the globe, which makes fundraising much harder, much more, not harder, but more complex. So Balaji, last year, he wrote an article called Mirror Table, and he specifically talked about this problem. He was saying that Right now, with the more emergent technology or infrastructure, like we have stablecoins, we have on-chain identity, we have smart contract layers. Right now, we could literally build a one-stop shop for fundraising for angel investors, VCs, and founders. And this is how he envision. In traditional Web2 fundraising fashion, people use DocuSign to sign contracts. People use traditional bank wire to wire the funds, and people use tools like Carta or Angelus to manage the cap table. But what if this could be all embedded into one and using smart contract power? So as I mentioned before, token started to become a supplementing tool, or is replacing the traditional equity stock for many projects. And how to do fundraising for a token project usually looks like this. There's mostly three phases, and I know there's a lot of crypto founders down there. We can discuss this later, but usually, a more proper fundraising flow would be a preparation phase where the founders and investors, they negotiate deals, negotiate terms, and draft contracts using lawyer to draft contracts, and they have to use tools like DocuSign to sign contract, and then they need to use like separate tool to wire funds in fiat or crypto. But since we're on Web3 right now, the using stablecoins to fund projects become more and more common these days. And then you oftentimes use spreadsheets like Excel's or like cap table management tools like Carta to do capital management. And when token launch day, they need to pray for the founders to, hey, this is the unlocking term, this is the vesting schedule, so you better just distribute the tokens to this address, and then they could go through all that. So all these different sectors are pretty fragmented to each other. The user experience, you need to use platforms, applications across different platforms, Web2 and Web3, and sometimes it's just a pain in the butt. So what does EthSign offer? So what EthSign do is to tackle all these sectors, we specifically have a legal template that we co-branded and also co-authored with some of the top law firms in this world. And we offer the EthSign signatures, which offer a Web3 ETH signature solution and enabling payment directly upon contract signing. And we have Token Table. Token Table is a cap table management tool directly for Web3 founders. And what it does is a bit more powerful than the traditional tools, and I will get to that a bit later. So today, EthSign signatures, we have 150K unique addresses, and these are the organizations have been using EthSign for the past year, and these are some of the user traction. So for contract signing, basically we enabled traditional normal Web2 users or Web3 users to come in very easily by simply logging with their on-chain or off-chain identity. Recently, we integrated SynPass and RNS so that Singapore citizens can log into EthSign, which they will go through some cases where they don't need to be KYC. And of course, EthSign generates signatures based on their private keys. So here is a very short demo of what you'll be able to do. You could text edit your text, sign, and drop signature field, and do other cool stuff. The UI is similar to DocuSign, I would say, but it was totally decentralized, and the contract itself will be stored in decentralized storage, and the metadata of the signature generated will be stored on EVM compatible and other blockchains. And to talk a little bit more about what we offer, we provided legal templates collaborating with some of the top law firms in this world, including like Cooley Law Firm, who invented SAFT contract, which SAFT for Simple Agreement of Future Token, as well as collaborating with Orange Now, Wilson Orsini, and some other law firms to create this legal templates as a public good for all the Web3 founders to be able to use. And not just like for the fundraising documents, we also provide like NDAs, MOUs, all the other types of contracts that, and some of them will be linked, directly linked with smart contract usage. And on EthSign, on top of signing, what we offer is different from DocuSign. Basically this is a contract sign and pay feature, where after the investor invests or sign the contract, they can directly wire the funds through EthSign with different stablecoins solutions on different various chains, and there will be an entity certificate as a receipt upon investment. So how are you going to claim your tokens in the future? Is you're going to use this NFT to deal with the metadata of how much token you own, with what this token, with what vesting schedule and unlocking period, you'll be able to find it over there. And in the future, we can do some fancy stuff like fractionalize it, trade it, and do OTC market, that kind of stuff. Also, we offer multi-sig is a demand, so we simply integrated Gnosis. And so token table, yes. So after you prepare your contracts using legal templates, after you sign the contract using EthSign, and hopefully the VC or the angel investor pay wire the fund. Now, what we create is this token management dashboard, which will record accurate, up-to-date data for the token cap table, which specifically says about how much token does each of the stakeholders own? How much token does the founders own? Does the investors own? Does the team members own? And the community? And what's the unlocking period? What's the locking schedule look like for each one? And because EthSign token table is interconnected, so using EthSign to sign the traditional fundraising document, it will generate the token table dashboard automatically for you. So that's how we convert legal agreements to smart contract. And for any projects that wanted to simply just use the token table as a token distribution method, you can also easily be able to do so. So for projects and VCs, one of the common pain for them is they oftentimes using Excel spreadsheets to manage all the stakeholders' information or portfolios. I've seen investors have like 100 portfolio companies, and they just sometimes it's really hard to manage all those. And it's very error prone. If you misspell one address information, then you might not be able to get your token, and vice versa. For founders, if you have more than 20 investors, and whenever you started to distribute your token based on your vesting schedule, it's oftentimes very manual. And you have to do it, let's say, it will create a lot of burden for the back office as well. So for our smart contract features at Token Table, we basically allow founders to create a vesting schedule based on their legal contract. Then you can customize it based on whatever cliffs or whatever linear schedule you want. And what's cool about this is, first, the cost efficient. So we are the lowest cost among other industry competitors, and you can basically skip and start, which means that even if you're already manually distributing your token for a while, you can still integrate our front end or call our front end to call our smart contract to distribute tokens in the middle of your distribution. And also single deployment is you just only need to deploy once, and you no longer need to maintain your tokens, token distribution in the future. So if there's any founders here today want to try out this solution, let us know. So lastly, how our smart contract has been integrated is we have recently done a proof of concept use cases with Juicebox. So Juicebox is probably one of the largest fundraising platform out there, and basically they integrated our EthSign token table smart contract to do fundraising and token distribution. And and in the future, as I mentioned, what EthSign tries to offer is we're offering this full stack. We're offering this full stack of tools and applications for Web3 founders and investors to better manage fundraising, capital management, token distribution, and we're also helping any non-Web3 founders who building who is building a scalable technology to be able to help them to set up a token entities, help them raise, and to enter into this token market. We believe, right now we're in the middle of the bear market, and there's a lack of projects, lack of investors. But we do believe that if crypto industry wants to get more mature, similar to the traditional equity market, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There needs to be more transparency, more standardized rules, and products like us to help to manage this better industry. So at the end, I want to say, if you are founders, if you are organization users or investors who are facing similar problems or want to talk to us, me and Rishi, we're going to be here all day, and let us know. And also visit our website at EthSign.xyz, and we would love to serve whatever needs you want. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.